Hi, everybody. Today's is episode 6, and I'm here with my little sister, Seema.
Hi, it's good to be back.
Yeah, this weekend is the 4th of July weekend, and it was fun. I stayed home yesterday, but on the 3rd, I went over, and it was fun. We got to watch fireworks, and it was my little brother's birthday.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I decorated a cake and it was really cute.
Your cake was really good. I did get a pearl, in the...
Oh.
Those are kind of hard, but, it was worth it.
You weren't supposed to eat those.
No, I know. It was dark and I couldn't see, but thankfully my teeth are safe and I did not break a tooth, but it was such a good cake.
Yeah.
I love strawberry shortcake. So I hope you guys had a wonderful 4th of July weekend as well. We did have a sale running. I think it ended yesterday. Did it end?
I think so. Yeah, it ended on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not sure.
So thank you guys so much for your orders.
Yeah, that was 4th of July was good.
Yeah, I really liked it. I like 4th of July because everything is on sale and then you get to go hang out with your friends. You can go shopping. It's just a good weekend and I don't know. Fireworks are fun. My husband, he works at the ER, so they always kind of don't like 4th of July because you don't know the trauma that comes with that. He works at a trauma center and he was like, oh my God, it's a full moon. And it's 4th of July. I don't know what I'm going to see this week. So he actually took an extra pair of uniforms with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's funny. But he actually said that it was, chill. Nothing really happened. There was no traumatic firework accidents, hopefully. So
That's so weird because there were a lot of firework-related incidents in the city.
Really?
Yeah. Those teenagers that set off fireworks in the middle of the road and were setting off fireworks on people's houses. And it was weird. It was it was weird. It was more than one group of people. It was so bizarre. Why would they do that?
I don't know. I didn't actually hear about that. But I feel like I stay pretty secluded.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They were just setting them off on people's houses and in the middle of the road, a main road.
Oh my God. Yeah. Fireworks and just humans sometimes just don't mix. I don't know. But I hope that you guys had a safe 4th of July and just enjoyed everything, enjoyed your families and all that good stuff. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about consent forms and waivers and liability, maybe some insurance-related stuff, regulation-related stuff on basically why we have to include so much questions on our waivers. When I give these to the clients, they always ask me, do I have to fill out all these things? Are these required by you or the state? So, we're just going to be going over our consent form and basically our method of how we intake this information and why we ask the questions we do, because a lot of students that come into our workshops, they always say, I don't know why we're asking this. So if you don't know why you're asking some of these questions, then it's just, you won't know, if they check, you won't know how to take the precautions or you won't know what to do with that information. It's what if do you still perform the service? So that's today's episode.
It's very important.
So I'm really glad that we did this in a podcast form because we tried to film all this information on a video and it ended up being a 30-minute video and it wasn't very digestible. So I just feel like you guys would enjoy listening to this information a little bit more. So our waiver, we have it on a, you could use the iPad or the client could use their phone. And my sister actually made these cards. There are aftercare cards. I had one in here and
it's right under the iPad.
Oh, it's under the iPad. There we go. So I want to show you guys our aftercare cards and how we had this format. So we designed these on Canva. And basically on the front, it says the aftercare. And on the back, it says what to avoid. On the front, there's a QR code for our clients to fill out a review.
That one's for a review, and the one on the back
is for the waiver.
Yes.
Yeah. So they basically take a picture of this QR code, which, did you just use a random QR code generator and put the link?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's super easy to make your own QR code. And then we use waiverforever.com. We have a subscription. It's $19. And it's like pretty cheap to have a nice, secure storage for all these forms that are coming in. And it makes searching for names really easy. So like, let's say John Doe came and, got their brows done. Then later, like 2 years later, you don't have to look through a file cabinet. You could just go in a waiver forever, type in John Doe, whatever, because everything is by the computer now. I don't think a lot of people use paper, so you don't need to scan or anything like that.
It's a lot more convenient. And I don't know, it looks cooler than just filling out the paper one.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I just actually went to a doctor's appointment and the secretary gave me papers to fill out. And I kind of felt bad because I saw her like taking the papers back in the back, scanning them and putting them. And I know that they use a completely different system in the medical field. But I feel like, sometimes we learn from different industries that do the same, like sort of systematic things that we do. And I've seen some permanent makeup artists like do it that same way too, because I mean you do what you know, right? So for the longest time, like I remember the first 3-4 years of my career, I took paper forms as well, and then I just couldn't. In my file cabinet, I mean, we work in studios that are such a small space, so you don't want to be storing like paper, right?
Yeah.
So we found that this QR code with the aftercare and what to avoid, just having a little QR code on I have 2 trays all the time, like the mapping tray and then the tattoo tray. I put this on the mapping tray, so when they come in, typically like I'll just have them fill it out right in the beginning. And sometimes I like just giving it to them right then and there, because sometimes I need like an extra minute between clients to like clean up or have a sip of water. So it gives me like a nice 5-minute, okay, like I know the client is filling out the waiver, so I could do like whatever that sometimes I need to do between clients. But we do also have it on my link tree. So when you go to my page, I do give them the option like, hey, you can fill this out before your appointment to save time. So we try to have it everywhere, and you don't want to forget it either, because you don't know who might get like a reaction.
Yeah, and they'll always have it on hand too. They'll always have the waiver that they signed with them, like in their pocket, because of the QR code.
Oh yeah, they'll have that. And do they get a copy when they're? I don't think they get a copy.
They don't get a copy, but I'm sure they can just revisit
the questions.
Yeah,
they'll know what they answered.
Yeah.
They're the most important for like insurance. Like insurance, you get a lower rate when you collect consent forms that are pretty detailed, because if a claim does arise, you can kind of have some backup data saying, we took all the measures to ensure that this doesn't happen and stuff like that.
I actually added the aftercare in there too, just so that they always have the aftercare in full detail. It's like, I think, a 12-step process I added in there. I also added what an infection might look like, just so that the client always has it on hand.
Yeah, I'm so glad you did that. You made the waiver so much better. And I think, too, as we grew in experience, we just always go back and look at our waiver and you look back at the situations and, like, the different, clients that we've seen in the past year, and then see, okay, did our waiver cover us throughout all these situations? Like, did we ask the right questions and prevent sort of a liability with all of the situations that we've experienced in the past? So I think it's important to always go back throughout the years and see if you need to be asking something. And, the government requires you to ask basic stuff, and then your insurance is going to maybe sometimes require you ask some stuff too. But as an artist, it's always important to know what comes in through your door and kind of make your own adjustments based on your experience of like different clients using different products, and you constantly noticing that this doesn't mesh well with whatever you're doing, and then just making sure to bring that up in the waiver in case that client is getting something similar done and was on like similar pills as a client before or something like that. So I feel like it's always good to update these things and include like staff, because I think with when I first started, the waiver just had my name on it.
Yeah.
And it was like, I hereby consent Shay to do my brows. And you have to put your legal name. Mm-hmm. So you don't put your like nickname or something, like put your legal name. And then as we grew, we made it, I hereby consent M33 Inc. LLC, and every staff member in there, you know, And then there is a part where they, you know, write who specifically is going to tattoo them, but they are consenting the entire like operation, that it's okay to be there and stuff like that. So yeah, as your team grows, just make sure that you're going back, updating your waiver according to who's working now. And then, yeah, also with like insurance policy, like it's kind of annoying when every time you hire somebody, you have to either add them onto your insurance if you can. If they're a W-2, you could add them onto your insurance, but in our state, but if they're a 1099, they were going to have to get their own tattoo insurance too. So just make sure you have all that stuff to protect you, because you really don't know what might happen.
Yeah, it happens to the best of them too. Like,
yeah,
you know, you could be highly experienced and someone could end up with an infection.
Yeah.
So always having that waiver on you is, it'll save you.
Yeah, and especially if you're working, like let's say you're a tattoo apprentice, right? Mm-hmm. And you're working at a shop, and let's say something does happen, but your boss did not ensure like your safety. Just make sure that as an apprentice, you do your own due diligence and just make sure to ask like, hey, are we insured? Am I under your policy? Do you need anything from me? Like, make sure that you're protected.
Yeah.
Because if you're not protected and that person decides to come after you personally, they really can.
Yeah.
And if you're not protected and the person is deciding to come after you personally, let's say like not the shop, and you're not under the shop's policy, this and that, like it's just, you never know. Mm-hmm. You never know. So just make sure that like, even if you're not in charge of all these things, that you're asking the right questions, just making sure that if something bad happens, that there is a policy that you can refer to and just be like, hey, okay, you know, like, here's the claim. We're going to figure this out if there needs to be a claim, you know?
Right.
So we're going to start kind of going through this waiver together. It's a long waiver, guys. But I just feel like this is going to, just if you tune in and listen to this and, you know, just see why you're asking these things. I know a lot of people don't know this information, so let's go. So it says M33 Inc. Body Tattoo Waiver. It says, thank you for your interest in our tattooing services. We are required by law to collect the following information to ensure your safety and satisfaction. This information is stored confidentially offline using encrypted passwords, and we would never share this information. This information helps us tailor each client's experience to ensure everyone's safety and comfort. So that's like kind of the script. And we only say that too because a lot of the clients that come in the shop are like, hey, why are you asking me all these questions? And it's like, yo, I need to for like the insurance and everything.
It's like against the law if you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why would you fill one out at a doctor's? It's almost the same thing.
Yeah, so. But I think some people think that getting a tattoo should be fun and there's no...
Yeah, no.
Yeah, even some artists like have that view where it's like, none of this is serious. This is all fake.
Yeah, no, you can get...
In serious trouble. Yeah. So the reason why I said these are stored encrypted is because in Michigan, you have to store these files in a way that either has a lock or an encryption for the max date of 3 years. So the first question is, please fill out your name, first name, last name, email. Date of birth is required by the state of Michigan so that you're not tattooing minors. Mm-hmm. If you are tattooing a minor, there's a separate form that you can get from the government website and the body art department. And it's like a consent form that requires parents' signature. Mm-hmm. So either way, in our studio, we just don't tattoo minors because I think you get a more expensive insurance policy if you do, which when I checked, like that, we talked about that on the phone with the agent. And I just, for some reason, just rather not, even if I do have a consent form,
It's not something I want to do. I don't believe in, honestly, getting a tattoo before you're 18 anyway, just because you're probably not going to like it in a few years.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Like, I've had a lot of consultations with people bringing in their parent saying, hey, I have my parent with me and I want to get a tattoo and this is what I want. It's always like the worst idea. Yeah. It's always like very unthought out. They just want to do it. It's kind of like I turned 21. I just want to have my first drink. It's kind of like that. Yeah. And I don't know. I never really like was into any of their ideas, and I just never thought that it was necessary. Mm-hmm. And I just felt bad for them because, and the parent never looked happy.
Yeah, they're always like kind of mad about it too.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, like I know your daughter or your whatever is trying to like get you to approve of something that you don't, and you're here, but it's always the most awkward time because they sit there throughout the whole appointment. From my experience, I mean, these are just my experiences, and they're watching that you're not hurting their kid because they care about them deeply, and they're just like, oh fuck, like they're gonna regret that. Da, da, da. So I'm just like, I don't want to sit with that energy. Like, just come back when you're older without your fucking mom.
Yeah, I know. Someone called the other day and they were like, does the adult have to be a parent or can it just be any adult? And I'm like, if you need to ask that, you probably shouldn't be getting the tattoo.
Right. Like your legal guardian is probably your parents most of the time.
Yeah.
Or somebody that is legally in charge of you. And
no, you can't just like bring in a random adult. Like, hey, this is my friend Joe, and he said I can get a tattoo. He approved.
Right. I don't know. It's like a random adult approved of my decision. I just don't even know. I just don't want to get involved. I don't like it.
Yeah, and then you'll get a mad parent over the phone. Hey, you tattooed my kid.
Or like some I don't know if like some parents would get mad after the fact.
I don't know.
Like you signed a consent.
I don't know. I mean, we just don't tattoo.
We just don't do it.
People underage because
it's a lot. Yeah. And they're annoying.
Yeah. Now it just become like
sorry. So then we're like, please fill in your address. I don't know why the state of Michigan requires an address fill. I don't really do anything with the address. I don't care where their address is. But sometimes it's nice, like if they're out of state, when you read it and they put something like 2 hours away or something, you're like, oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Phone number, emergency contact is pretty important. Like you want to make sure that they have a reliable person if something happens. So thankfully no emergencies has happened in our studio, but like last month or 2 months ago, we did have somebody have a seizure in a studio that was next door to us.
Yeah.
And it was really scary because she was just like getting her hair done and she started seizing, and like it was like scary for everybody. And they it was a hair appointment, so I don't think that they don't require emergency contacts, so they had to wait for her to become like mobile again to call her husband. But let's say
we called the ambulance.
Yeah. I don't know who was the first to respond in that situation. I called my husband and I was on the phone with the ambulance and my husband at the same time. I was like, what's the protocol at the hospital when somebody's seizing? And he's like, just have them sit up. Don't put anything in their mouth. Because there's like apparently a rumor that if you put something in their mouth for them to bite on, it's better. But apparently that's like not a good thing at all.
No, you want them to like not choke.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. And then like some people were screaming like, give them water. And my husband was like absolutely not. Don't give them any water. Just have them sit up.
Yeah. Or like over to the side and something under their head to just not have them bang their head if they're on the... if they end up on the floor.
Right.
Or anywhere like with a hard surface, really.
Yeah, it was scary. So I actually learned everything that you need to do in case of a seizure that day. And it wasn't my client, thankfully, but like I remember, okay, like, call the ambulance right away, make sure that they're not going to fall on the floor. And
no, she was seated. She was seated in the hair wash station. So her head was technically protected.
Yeah.
Like between the thing and like
But I think they had to like make sure she wasn't like laying back no more.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. But
I just knew that like, okay, nothing near the mouth, no water, and just wait for it to be over. Yeah, it was crazy, but like you don't know for real until you experience it. And I never heard anybody talking about it before because it's never happened in our family. So I just didn't know like what to do until that moment. So that was kind of crazy. So yeah, just make sure that you have an emergency contact on hand. So in case like anything happens, you know, you can call somebody and just be like, hey, you know, this happened. Obviously, you know, if something happened to really serious, you should also call like 911.
Yeah. 911 first.
Yeah, 911 first for sure. All right, so here are some other questions that we have on our waiver. So it says, do you have or previously had any of the following? And it says history of MRSA or autoimmune disorder. So with the MRSA or autoimmune disorder, basically they just don't heal as well. So if they say, you know, they'll tell you the severity if they do check off yet. And then you can ask them like, have you had any other tattoos? Did they heal right? Personally, on a person with like an autoimmune disorder, you just don't want their body to react in a way where they're not going to heal or they're going to scar or they're going to get an infection. Because if you have that, you're way more likely to get an infection as well. So you just want to make sure that you're not going to give them anything that the body is going to just completely freak out. So, like, especially if it's like a piece with so much ink.
Shading and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people forget that a lot of the ink does go to the liver.
Oh, yeah, it does?
Yeah. It, like, gets processed by your body, and it goes into your bloodstream, and then your liver cleans it out. So you actually... The pigment does dye your organs if it's that big.
That's crazy, because, like, think about people with a lot of tattoos.
They probably...
Are their, like, insides black, too? Oh, wow.
I mean, for a while, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Until the macrophages are blocking, until like it's kind of like old.
Oh, okay.
And there's no more really ink for them to pick up because the ink particle is bigger than the macrophage particle that's trying to clean it out. That's actually, so ink staying in the body is a complete accident.
Oh, okay.
It just becomes that the body cannot physically grab the molecule and get it out.
And that's why it's like permanent and stays in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like we've been tattooing throughout history, so it's safe. So personally at our shop, we do black work.
Yeah.
And we only use dynamic ink because it doesn't have a lot of additives. It's just carbon black, which, I mean, it's not the best ingredient in the world, but it makes black and it's just one color. And it's not like it's titanium dioxide or anything like that. And, it, you know, with titanium dioxide, it's in like a lot of yellows and white, like basically it's white.
Yeah.
And that there is a lot of research linking that to disease and cancer and all these things. And I'm not sure the amounts of exposure that you need to titanium dioxide to actually get a disease, but let's say like, and you know, something I've always wondered about, and I have this question is like, for people that are recovering from cancer and they get the nipple tattoo, with that having a lot of titanium dioxide, like would that maybe cause the cancer maybe to come back if it triggers it, or I don't know.
I mean, maybe I can look it up.
I feel like that's like a really good question.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. Because I see a lot of people doing areola tattoos, and I know that it gives the person a lot of confidence back. But I always wondered, like, there's reds in there, which are, like, not the best pigments. I know that now with the Luxe line, they're using, with PermaBlend, they're using a bunch of approved in Europe pigments, which I'm so happy about because I thought about learning areola, but then I'm like, okay, well, why would I put dyes onto tissue that has just gone through cancer?
I'm trying to look it up here. A lot of the questions on Google ask, like, is it okay to get a tattoo in general?
I feel like there needs to be a really detailed, like, deep dive into this question because there's not a lot of permanent makeup questions posted on the internet for free.
Yeah, this can take... Well, they say the recommendation is to wait until scars have completely healed and chemotherapy radiation treatments are complete. But I don't know. I don't see anything directly saying like don't get an areola tattoo after breast cancer, or there's no like
research.
There's no research on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I wondered. I did look it up before. I never got an answer. So hey, if you have an answer, just DM me one day and just be like, hey.
I would love to know actually.
Yeah. Like if there's any reports or any science.
Any kind of science with that. Because I mean, you know, what you're saying is technically true.
Yeah.
Why would you put a cancer causing chemical in an area, especially in an area that has just
recovered?
Yeah, just recovered from cancer too.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like if you're a scientist or a doctor or have any medical knowledge, let us know.
Yeah, really.
We would love to know.
Yeah. And then two, honestly, and this is so off track. This is so sidetracked, but I was just looking into the different fabrics that are used into bras and like polyester and spandex and all these things. And you should not be wearing those around like the breast tissue because I don't know, like holistically, they're not good. So try to buy 100% cotton bras. And it was hard for me to find 100% cotton bras. But I did find, surprisingly, Skims has 100% cotton bras.
Okay.
Yeah, and I bought a few from there, and they're actually really comfortable. Like you don't get the lift.
Yeah.
Like you get a little lift,
but I don't know if the padding technically has anything to do with the fabric itself. You know. Well,
I think with like Victoria's Secret, for example, they use a lot of stretchy material, so that the padding can be, I don't know, so that they're like, you know, they make them look nice or whatever because of the stretch. Yeah. But I feel like with cotton, you're kind of going to be stuck with your own shape, which I really, like, personally, I don't mind. I really like them. But I really love the 100% cotton bras. So, I mean, as a woman, I just feel like maybe women are tuning in. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, I decided to ditch the bra altogether. I don't think it's necessary anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still do the bra thing, but a lot of the fabric is just disgusting. And, you know, I've been learning that, like, even a lot of, like, Lululemons and a lot of, like, latex-based material is so bad for
I can't do latex at all. I'm, like, allergic
I'm allergic to latex, too. But a lot of spandex, latex, rubbery, just anything that's not cotton, especially, like, with stuff we work out in, we sweat in, it like mixes with our sweat, goes back in our body.
Yeah.
And like even detergents, just, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't do certain detergents.
Yeah, detergents mixed with the fabrics. It's all like a shit show. And then we get a disease.
Yeah.
You know?
And body size. You know what? This is a whole different field of like just bad, because like body wash too. Like, you know, everything is kind of bad these days. Well, everything's, I don't know.
No, there are brands. Like there are a lot of good stuff.
You just have to like actually do your research and
like you have to advocate for your health. So,
but anyway.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because we were talking about different dyes, and you know they're not only in tattooing; they're in our fabrics, in our detergents, in everything,
soaps, and you know everything.
So yeah, I mean, if you have this concern for tattooing, then you probably have this concern about everything. So I mean, that's just me though. So anyway, history of hemophilia or excessive bleeding. If they hit yes, just ask them like, what do you mean by that? Because I've tattooed people that pressed yes on that and they didn't bleed at all. Because like most of the tattoos we're doing are tiny tattoos and they did not react to them at all. So just ask them like, hey, what's the extent of that? If they say like I bleed like a lot no matter what, if they have rosacea or you know they have super thin skin and you kind of get started and they start gushing, you should probably stop. But the chances of that is very, very little.
Would anemic people be okay?
Like low in iron?
Yeah, like I feel like they like get bruised easily too, right? Like they get bruised and like they bleed easily.
I think I tattooed one anemic person and they swelled like pretty bad.
Okay.
But it did not affect the tattoo. And they had other tattoos before me. Okay. So I got to see examples of like what happened.
How it healed, yeah.
It really helps when you're not the first person tattooing.
Yeah.
You know? And even if you're doing someone's permanent makeup, you can always reference to their tattoos to see like it's because it's all tattooing. I know some people are like, oh, you know, I can't reference that, but you absolutely can, in my opinion. So the next question is diabetes or other conditions that may affect the blood circulation or ability to fight infection. So again, I've tattooed diabetics before. I've done permanent makeup on people who have diabetes. You just basically what I like to do with that is have them get a note from their doctor just saying, hey, you know, like, she's okay to get one, because I don't want that responsibility. And another thing is with diabetes is some diabetics, it depends on, like, how severe it is, they just don't fight off infection as well. So they're way more prone to infection than a lot of other people. That's the only reason we're asking that question, just to kind of have a conversation about it. And then history of skin disease, skin lesions, or skin sensitivities to soaps or disinfectants. If they hit basically just ask them, like, what are you allergic to? No, I've never experienced somebody, like, sensitive to green soap.
Not sensitive to green soap. I was surprisingly sensitive to Sanoderm.
Oh, yeah, I would be too.
After I put it on my last tattoo, the one on my sternum, there was like a square of redness that stayed on for a week, and it would itch. And my tattoo wasn't red, but it was like that was the only part that was red, and it was because of the Sanoderm.
Yeah, I'm allergic to glue, like any glue. Yeah. I'm allergic to Band-Aids.
Yeah.
Can't have a Band-Aid on.
I can do Band-Aids.
Can't do dishwashing gloves.
I can do some of those, but like a sticky, like the Sanoderm kind of thing, I don't know.
Yeah, I had a heart monitor on not too long ago. I'm okay, by the way. But I was allergic to the stuff that was sticky. Adhesives. Any adhesive. Yeah. I actually have a scar now because of it. The adhesive, just don't put glue on me. Yeah. It's not a good idea. But yeah, so I've seen people allergic to Aquaphor.
Aquaphor?
Yeah.
Would they be allergic to all petroleum jelly?
Yes.
Then? Okay.
Usually, yes. And then I just have them heal with like coconut or hustle butter or I love grapeseed oil for healing. I think it's so underrated, but it's made basically of vitamin E. Like the components of grapeseed oil are the best for skin healing, and nobody knows about it, but I swear I've seen people have the crispiest heal with.
That's cool.
Yeah, grapeseed oil is great for people. Even if they don't have like allergies to petroleum, I always like to throw it in there. Like, hey, if after doing like 2 days of petroleum stuff, you could switch to grapeseed oil. And every time somebody did do that and did go out and like buy organic grapeseed oil on Amazon or something, and they came back 2 months later, the heal was so nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How do you feel about healing with like just doing lotion, like a healing lotion, I guess, from like drugstore?
Well, they typically have like fragrances, right?
Like a fragrance-free, just like lotion.
You know, if the area is not, I guess, open, it's fine.
Yeah.
Even with like petroleum-based stuff, like you want to keep the area moisturized, but you just want to make sure you're using something that's gonna stay breathable. And I don't think, I mean, we use like A&D and stuff like that. I think we use petroleum-based stuff because it stays hydrated for longer.
Oh, yeah.
Where like lotion, it just gets sucked up and it kind of goes away and you need to reapply a lot more often. That's why I like oils, because oils stay on your skin for a long time.
Yeah, maybe much longer.
Yeah, maybe even longer than like petroleum jelly without any of the additives.
That's true.
So I'm an oil girl. I love, and you were at an oil store earlier.
I was at a beauty supply store, but they had like aisles full of like different, but they were like hair oils. So I don't know if that's going to be like the same thing.
I mean, an oil is an oil.
You just start putting it on your tattoo and you start growing hair there.
Oh my God, weird.
Like really thick, gross, moisturized hair.
Ew. Okay, So the next question is, do you have any skin conditions such as eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis that may affect the tattoo area? So actually, like, our coworker Kathleen is not tattooed at all. I'm not tattooed either, but her reason for not being tattooed is because she has eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis. She has all of it.
I think it's just eczema, or is it? I don't know.
She has all types of, like, allergies and skin stuff. And in the winter, it flares. Like, she goes through flares.
Yeah.
So she's just scared that something would trigger a flare because she's on, like injectable needles for her skin conditions.
I have eczema, and a few of my tattoos actually triggered eczema in that area.
Really?
Yeah. This one.
Oh, yeah.
This one triggers eczema here. And then I found that this one triggers a little bit of eczema here, but it's not bad. Like, it's just like a tiny
I do think it's a little bit red in that area, just a tiny bit.
No, it's not.
Like this.
It is red, though. The tattoo is
No, not the tattoo, like, right here.
No.
Maybe, because you're tan. You're tan.
It just looks like this.
Okay. Yeah. Well, did that one?
No, this one doesn't do anything. This one's fine. This one doesn't do anything. I don't know. Most of them are fine. But it's just like the more sensitive area ones are like a little bit. I feel like this one because it's next to more like.
And he went really deep.
Yeah, I don't. Let's not get into that.
Oh my God. It's funny because some tattoo artists will stick out the needle a certain extent and then just put the whole thing in.
Yeah, I think that's what he did, honestly.
A lot of tattoo artists do that. They don't stick out. I like to stick out a lot of my needle and to actually like control the depth.
Yeah.
Like, writing the tube to me is just like, you're gonna get the worst tattoo.
Yeah.
It just looks like why would you do that? Because to me, like, you need to go in and out depending on the part of the skin.
Of course, yeah. No, it does. The ones that I got, which I think they rode the tube, they didn't heal well at all. Like, they're all bumped. Like, every line is blown out, but it's okay, I guess. I mean, it looks.
They're not bad.
They're not terrible.
No.
But I don't know. I wish they used like either a thinner needle or at least cared enough to not just do that.
I don't think they know. They don't know how to not do that because so many people are taught that way.
That's so weird.
I know. I guess for eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis, just be honest with them. Like, I've had somebody for eyebrows come in and she gets psoriasis on her brows.
Oh, wow.
Like, and she came in to her tattoo appointment with psoriasis, like, flaring. She's like, they're flaring today.
You're like, I'm not tattooing that.
I'm like, girl, like, what am I going to tattoo these flakes? Like, your skin's flaking. Like, if I tattooed you, it's just going to be, like, they're not going to heal right. Mm-hmm. So if somebody comes with, like, a flare-up, obviously.
Plus, it's I think it's, like, unsanitary just because it's, open, like an open wound.
Like, it has been opened before.
Yeah, sometimes, like, eczema causes, like, scabbing. Right. Or, like, not scabbing, but, like, scabbing and, like, dry, flaky, open skin. And you don't want to tattoo that.
No. She came in like that, and I felt bad because she really wanted her brows done. But I was like, go talk to your doctor about it. I'm sorry.
You also probably don't want to touch it either. Like,
no. And no, it's not that I'm grossed out because I'm wearing gloves and stuff. I really did want to help her, but I just didn't want it to spread to her eyes.
Yeah.
Because it already was really close. I mean, your eyebrow was super close to your eye. So, and it was like spreading into her hairline.
Oh.
So she was just not doing good. I was like, you can't ignore your health for beauty reasons.
Yeah.
So, I just had her go talk to her doctor, and her doctor said it was not a good idea. So I just never ended up tattooing her. And sometimes you have to care that much and say no. It was $500, but I still just said no.
Yeah.
Okay. So another question is, have you had tattoo removal or cover up? And basically that's just asking for that specific area. So am I tattooing an area that has had previous work, just to know if there's scar tissue or what to look out for. So that's why we ask that. Then history of adverse reactions to latex, pigments, lidocaine, dyes, disinfectants, metals, or sensitive related to body art procedures. For this one, I think most of us at the shop are allergic to latex.
Yeah, we get latex-free gloves. Like, we don't do that.
Yeah, we get nitro. So everybody gets nitrile gloves. Like, you'll never. We don't.
Latex-free studio.
Yeah, and then it says pigments, lidocaine, dyes. So I've seen a lot of people allergic to lidocaine. So if they are allergic to lidocaine, just know that you probably shouldn't numb them. It's gonna make the tattoo a lot worse.
Yeah.
And you want to ask too. They'll know if they are.
Yeah, it'll probably make the skin raise too much, right? Too.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to
Makes it swell.
Yeah.
Dyes, pigments. I've had people like say that they're allergic to hair dye, but if they're allergic to hair dye, it typically means they're allergic to PPD. And PPD is not in tattoo pigments, thankfully, because it's very toxic. Mm-hmm. So, some people's scalp will itch like crazy from hair dye, and that's because of the PPD.
I see.
In most hair dyes.
It's not an ink, though.
No. So disinfectants, metals. So metals you want to be careful with because reds have iodine in them, I think. I think it's iodine.
Do you want me to look it up?
Yeah, look it up really quick.
Which colors have metals?
Pretty sure it's reds, and I'm pretty sure it's iodine. Because I remember rejecting people.
So the color green, blue, yellow, and red, they basically... I don't know how to say that word.
What is it?
Do you want to look?
Yeah.
Here, you can look at it. It's like sciencey words. Dichromat salts.
Cobalt.
And mercury are considered bases for the colors green, blue, yellow, and red, while iron oxide, titanium dioxide, carbon, and
to create colors brown, white, black, violet, iron oxide. Okay, yeah. So I mean, we talk about this all the time. So I mean, iron is a metal.
Yeah.
So if you're allergic to, if you have iron allergy, which I don't think anybody does. Is there people with iron allergies?
I'm sure. Like,
it's so weird because like that's like a normal.
That would
thing.
be weird.
Yeah, but I mean, there are people like there's a lot of people who are seriously allergic to white ink because of the titanium in it.
Allergies to iron salts are seldom reported.
Yeah, like they're not reported. Seldom means like never.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I think some people are allergic to red dye. I just know that.
Oh yeah, they are.
And it's because of the iodine. But you can fact check me because I don't know why it's just slipping my mind a little bit. But I think I do have that question on there. Have you had tattoo? Okay, let's see. Allergies. Okay. History of epilepsy, seizures, fainting, narcolepsy. Now, if they have those histories, some people have had them like when they were children and then haven't had them in 15 years. Some people have them like a lot more often. So if they have them a lot more often, you want to make sure that there's like people with them. Mm-hmm. Don't tattoo them by themselves because like laying down for a long time can trigger that, or like you never know what triggers it. Yeah. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
But you just want to make sure like if they're going through something that there's pillows around, they're gonna be safe.
Yeah, they're gonna be safe.
Treatment with anticoagulants or other medication that thin the blood or interfere with blood clotting. So this question is just really important, mainly for microblading, because you just want to make sure that with people who are on aspirin, you cannot microblade them. If you're still microblading, I don't think you should be microblading at all. But if the person has thin blood and you're cutting, it will gush.
Oh, God.
It will, because I used to microblade.
Yeah.
It will gush.
It's so gross.
It is so gross, and it stinks.
Ugh.
So, and don't tell me, oh, you're using improper dye. No, don't do that. No, I was doing it right. Yeah, but you don't want it on aspirin. No, none of that. But then also, if somebody is prone to blood clotting and you're tattooing them, you want to make sure that they can sit up and walk around every 30 minutes or so. Because if they lay down for like way too long and don't move and they're in an awkward position, like you never know if the blood gets like too thick or something in one area. It says current pregnancy or breastfeeding. So this is a really controversial question, which I don't think it should be, because the answer is don't fucking do weird shit when you're pregnant.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah, like don't smoke, don't drink alcohol, don't do cocaine, and don't get tattoos.
Just wait 9 months. You can do it. Like,
yeah. I've seen people do all sorts of stuff while they're pregnant, and it's like, do you really want to like risk your baby or risk yourself?
Dude, I've seen people vape while pregnant.
It's so weird. Like I'm not judging you, but I'm judging you.
I'm judging you. No. I'm judging you. Don't even. No.
Yeah, no, I get it. So yeah, if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, don't get a tattoo, because it is going to go in your bloodstream. It's going to go in your liver. Your baby's going to eat the ink, like, period.
Yeah. And we're not going to tattoo you.
I won't. No, I won't do it.
No.
But I've seen people like proudly do it. And I'm like, okay, like I know you're trying to come off as your pro woman, but you're just pro like idiot.
Yeah.
You know? So, okay, hepatitis A, B, C, or D, or HIV. So personally, if somebody checks off, yeah, for HIV or hepatitis, I just don't tattoo them, because I'm not going to risk my career.
Yeah.
I know that's fucked up, because a lot of people like do, and they're just careful and they make sure that they don't poke themselves. I have poked myself with a needle while tattooing maybe like 10 times in my career. It happens. It happens to nurses. I mean, you gotta, flush out the area, make sure. And actually, you need a lot of blood to, like, I know they don't tell you this, but you do need like a lot of contact with different fluids in order to get a disease from somebody who has it. And then also make sure that your clients are refilling out the form every few years, because you never know what changes on them either.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, personally, it's too risky.
Yeah.
And I feel like people should be open about it. Like, they should not lie about it. I don't think they do.
I don't think they do, but no. Yeah, no, it could be pretty dangerous if you accidentally, like, poke yourself.
And then they're not going to heal right, because it's an autoimmune.
Yeah.
Do you have a history of keloid scarring or hypertopic scarring? So if they hit, yeah, just, again, do you have previous tattoos? I've seen people who are likely to keloid get tattoos and not keloid. Because to keloid, sometimes it'll happen from, like, a C-section scar.
Yeah.
And that's very different than a tattoo. So I feel like, just kind of ask them, like, how do you keloid? When do you keloid? Do you keloid every time? If they basically fell on their bike one time and then they keloided, you probably don't want to tattoo them.
I've only had one on my nose ring.
Oh, because it was like a deep, like, poke.
Yeah, and I don't, like, it was like the beginning of it, and the ring kept moving, and,
I have a keloid inside my nose.
Inside?
Yeah, because of scar tissue.
Oh.
Yeah. It's kind of gross. But I do scar. I scar really easily. And my scars don't go away. They get pigmented.
Yeah. My scars used to heal a lot quicker when I was younger, but I've been, like, noticing that these scars would not go away. Like, I have some cat scratches that just won't go away anymore. And when I was a kid, like, they would.
Yeah, I feel like now, like, laser resurfacing has to happen for everything. Like, I noticed my stretch marks aren't, like, I have a lot more marks on my body, period. Where, like, when I was a kid, obviously, like,
I feel like that just comes with getting older, though, too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, our skin is not gonna, like, fix itself as good as it used to.
Yeah, really. But yeah, if somebody has a history of keloid scarring, just definitely have a conversation about it and make sure that your tattoo isn't gonna get too raised or anything like that. Okay, so next question is, do you use skin products containing retin A, glycolic acid, or alpha hydroxyl? So those, especially retin A, depends on if they're on oral. Some people take it, like they take, what do you call it? What's that pill? Proactive?
Is that the acne one?
There's Proactive. There's Accutane.
Accutane.
You definitely don't want to tattoo people on Accutane. It's their skin's way too thin.
Yeah.
And it'll get really red.
Yeah. What is Accutane? Is it injectable? Like,
I think Accutane, there's like different forms of it.
Is it a pill?
I think it's a pill.
Oh, okay. And how does their skin just get thinner?
Bro, I don't know. I don't know the science behind Accutane. I just know that it's like a high dosage of, I think, vitamin A.
Oh.
And it causes the skin to become less oily and dry.
So that the acne will go away.
So that it sheds faster. Like, it speeds up the cycle.
Oh.
So it sheds its own self a lot faster. So it just becomes thinner. And just, honestly, it just bleeds. It gets red. It gets crazy.
Too sensitive.
Very sensitive, and it sometimes won't heal right. So if they're on like oral Accutane or whatever, just be like, hey, just come back when you're off of it.
Yeah.
It really does make a huge difference.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody told me some really interesting thing about Accutane the other day, and I completely forgot what that piece of information was. But it was something crazy that if you're on Accutane and you do the following, it's like a huge risk or something. I forgot what she said. But you can look up like what not to do when you're on Accutane. So any sort of like glycolic acid or whatever. This is especially for permanent makeup artists. Like, a lot of people use all types of stuff on their skin, and then coming in for a permanent makeup tattoo, whether it's eyebrows or eyelids or whatever, just make sure that they're not on like some weird acid peel, or they didn't just finish like a crazy peel, Okay, so it says, have you been tanning in the past 2 weeks? And I don't know why people tan and then get a tattoo. Like, I think Jenna just did a tattoo and the girl's skin was literally flaking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she wasn't honest about it. I don't think she was, like, in the middle of the tattoo, she goes, oh, by the way, I was like roasting in Florida.
That's not smart. You shouldn't be tanning before or after your tattoo.
100%.
Honestly, you shouldn't be tanning at all because it's kind of dangerous. But that's besides the point.
Yeah, well, I mean, she wasn't like in the booth, but she was on the beach and her back was peeling, and she got a tattoo on her back.
So she was also like kind of sunburned?
She was sunburned, and she got a tattoo over her sunburn, and she was pretending like it didn't hurt. I'm like, girl, I know this hurts. Like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, don't hurt yourself. Like, if your body is showing you that this hurts that bad, it just means, hey, you know what? This shit hurts.
Yeah, postpone your appointment. It's going to be a lot better than having a unhealed, uneven tattoo.
Literally, like, your health comes first.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it says, I agree to all the above information, and it asks for their signature. And then we have another long list of, no, it's not that long. So it just says the aftercare it says statement of consent and recitals. Please read and initial all the lines. Aftercare instructions have been explained to me and a copy was given to me. So this is required by the state. You are required to give them the aftercare, a copy for them by the state. So we do give it to them here, and then we also have them read it in the waiver. So I understand that a certain amount of discomfort is associated with this procedure. Swelling, redness, bruising may occur. I understand that Renova alpha hydroxyl glycolic acids may not be used or treated on treated areas. They will alter the color and cause premature exfoliation of pigment. I understand that tanning baths, pools, some skincare products, and medications can affect my tattoo. Successful pigment retention cannot be guaranteed due to hidden scar tissue. I will tell all my skincare professional medical personnel about my tattoo procedures, especially if I am scheduled for an MRI. So the whole MRI thing is because as we just like researched together, that the pigments have metals in them. And a strong CAT scan or an MRI is going to pull on the pigments when you're like in the scanner, it pulls any metal. So if you're wearing earrings, they're gonna get like tugged.
Oh.
And some people, their tattoos literally come off. Like, yeah. So I've had a client who had permanent makeup, and then it wasn't with me. I don't know, she had it from a long time ago. It was like really, really dark, permanent. Like, she had a lot of pigment in her brows. And then she had to go get an MRI, and she got an MRI, and chunks of her brows got like pulled out of her skin, and she said it hurt like a bitch.
Ooh.
Yeah, like peels of her skin just went right up to that
God.
machine.
That sounds so scary.
And disgusting. Yeah. So if you feel like you're gonna be going in and getting a bunch of MRIs, don't get like a black tattoo or anything like that. That shit will stick to the machine. Oof. Unless there has been advancements that I don't know about. Yeah. I accept the responsibility to explain to you my desired changes for the design, including size, placement, and shape for any procedure done at your appointment. I understand that implanted pigment can slightly change color or fade due to time. I acknowledge that the proposed procedure involves risk inherent in the procedure and have possibilities of complication, color, infection, misplaced pigment, poor color retention, and hyperpigmentation. So if any of these things do happen, you can literally be like, hey, you know what? I told you so.
Yeah.
And you signed right here. Like, this is the nature of what you're getting. Like, nothing can be guaranteed 100% perfect.
Yeah.
So, and then it says tattoo aftercare plan. This is the thing that you added in. And it tells them exactly how to take care of it. So that way, if they have questions about the aftercare and you're right there with them, you could just explain it to them right then and there.
Yeah.
Okay. So then it says signs of tattoo infection. So you go over what looks like an infection, which is increasing pain or discomfort, redness that spreads beyond the tattoo area, swelling that worsens over time, pus or other discharge that comes out from the tattoo, an unpleasant odor, a fever, or chills. If you suspect that a tattoo is infected, it is essential to seek medical attention right away. Your healthcare provider can diagnose or treat the infection and may prescribe antibiotics or correct medications. It's also important to continue the following proper aftercare procedures to ensure that your tattoo heals correctly. Okay, I actually just remembered what the client told me about Accutane.
What?
I think if you're on Accutane, you can't use... it's not like Neosporin, it's the other one that Jenna's using.
The antibacterial cream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's like you can't use them both at the same time or something like really bad will happen or something like that.
Oh.
That's what she told me. I didn't fact check her though.
Oh, okay.
But you can definitely Google that.
Okay, I'll Google it.
She's Googling it.
Accutane.
I forgot what it's called with just antibiotic or something like cream.
Okay. You should not take any tetracycline. Here, you can read it.
It says you should not, with like a big font, tetracycline, doxycycline or minocycline while you are taking Accutane. Other antibiotics such as penicillin, Bactrim, Z-Pax are compatible with Accutane. If you develop severe headache that does not resolve, please call the office immediately.
Okay.
But there is a cream like that you should not use.
I
think it's benzoyl peroxide or something like that.
Maybe.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that you shouldn't do on Accutane. But anyway, so yeah, it explains to them the signs of tattoo infection, and yeah. Okay, so it says I certify and read that I was provided all this information. I know all the risks. Ask them for a signature. So another thing we do at our studio, and I feel like you should do this too, is if you're snapping a lot of video content of your clients, you should ask them if they want to appear in your videos. Mm-hmm. So we have everybody with our waiver sign a personal release form. So it says social media has become an essential tool in almost every industry because it allows others to see our work. Would you be okay with us,
using you in our content?
Yeah. So it says, are you comfortable with showing your face in the photos or videos? Are you comfortable with allowing us to vlog or experience 30-second clips throughout the service? And then it says, I hereby authorize M33 Inc. staff to record, edit, program related materials, name, likeness of image, voice, and participation. It's basically like a regular release form saying that we own this stuff. Once we have these recordings, we are allowed to run ads on it. We're allowed to monetize on it. It's our media content.
Yeah.
Like, basically, it's just saying, like...
We can use it in any way that we can.
And you're cool with it.
Yeah, and you're fine with it.
Yeah, and we really appreciate it when people are cool with it because it obviously allows other people to see what we do at our studio.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's 2023. Like, nobody's gonna see... If they don't see your work, it didn't happen.
Yeah, right. And some people are not cool with it, so it's a convenient way to know whether or not your client is going to be okay with it without having like any awkward conversation. Like, hey, can I take a video, by the way? And then they shoot you down, and you got rejected by your client, and you feel awkward. Like, oh, I probably should have known.
Yeah, for sure.
This saves you a lot of.
Yeah, it's like a professional way of saying, hey, you know what? And it's also a really nice thing because I've had situations in the past where they hit yes on this form. And then later on, you know, I posted and they were featured in, you know, some of the content. And they expressed that they, like, don't want to be in it anymore. And I did unfortunately take it down because I felt bad. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like I don't think I legally would have had to. Yeah. Like you told me I could. You signed that I could.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
So when I used to be a photographer, you know the story. When I used to be a photographer, someone called me last minute, like, hey, we need a wedding photographer. Like, we just want to go downtown and take pictures by the river and, like, you know, whatever, like, can you do this today? And I'm like, you know what? I have time. Let's do it. So I go and I take pictures of, you know, the couple, and I take really, like, probably some of my best work, right? And, you know, the bride looks really nice. The groom looks really nice. And we're taking pictures, blah, blah, blah. I go home. I edit all of them. I get it all done in literally, like, less than 24 hours. And it was all great and dandy. And then I send it to the family, and then I make an Instagram post. So I post some of the pictures that I took. And then 24 hours later, my phone is being spammed with calls from her uncle, her grandpa, her neighbor, her dog, like everyone being like, take it down. So apparently she is Muslim and she wears a hijab, but downtown, you know, whatever, her wedding photos, she wasn't wearing one. Her hair was out. Like, we were literally downtown with a bunch of people, and I was taking pictures of them in the open. And then it became a problem when I posted it on Instagram, and they were like, take it down, blah, blah, blah. And I had to end up just like taking it down. And they were like, not threatening me, but also kind of like really aggressive. And apparently a year later, my mom tells me, she goes, remember that photo shoot you did a year ago? Yeah, well, the mother-in-law of you know, the bride or whatever called me and said that it's all my fault that they got divorced because I had posted pictures of her without her scarf on Instagram, even though we were downtown.
And you didn't even know she wore it?
No, because the whole time her hair was just out.
You thought she just wasn't like normal. Yeah, or didn't wear one.
Just didn't wear one. Yeah. So I mean, like, I knew they were Arab. I knew they were Muslim too, but.
I mean, like, we are too, but we don't wear it. So you just thought that they didn't wear it.
I just assumed that she just didn't wear it. Right. But I didn't know she just didn't wear it for her wedding. Like, I'm not sure how that works. Yeah. I don't know how that works. Anyway, that was just like a little sidetrack story.
No, that's fine. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I remember that. It was crazy. Yeah. Literally. Okay, so then, like, basically we give them a media consent form, have them sign it, and then the last thing we include in this waiver is the disclosure statement. It's basically the Public Act of 375, which happened on December 2010, and it indicates that individuals shall not tattoo or brand piercing another individual unless the tattooing, branding, piercing occurs at a body art facility by the Michigan Department. And basically it gives them a number that they can call if they have any complaint. So it says, if you wish to file a complaint against the body art facility related to compliance with PA 375 or have concerns about potential health risks, please visit michigan.gov body art. So in our state, we're required to disclose this public act that ensures public safety. And then the last thing we have is if they want to upload any pictures like references or current browse or befores or just anything that they want to show us, they can put in those files right there. But yeah, we just went over our entire waiver. It's so long.
Yeah, and now I think this is our longest episode at 1 hour and 11 minutes. I also I wanted to mention we have a lot more followers and views, and I'm so grateful that everyone's like tuning in and watching, and actually like it's kind of growing. It's cool to see every week because we don't check it until Wednesday.
Yeah, no, it is really cool to see, and it's a little bit like it's discouraging is not the word, but it's definitely something that I'm always like, I hope people tune in because it's long form content. Yeah. And I feel like short term content does a lot better as far as giving you that instant gratification of, like a TikTok getting like viral or whatever. It just, you know what I'm saying? Like you get a lot more views and followers and stuff like that, like off of a 15-second viral video.
Oh, well, you can't really have those kinds of expectations on podcasts because, you know, people still love podcasts. I mean, this is such a good thing to listen to on your way to work. Like, what if you have like an hour-long commute and you're like, you know what? Let's learn something.
No, I mean, I'm a podcast listener, so I'm very much so into podcasts, but it's always intimidating diving into a different form of media because you're like, okay, well, am I doing good?
I think it's doing good personally.
No, 100%. Like I definitely know that it's doing good, but I still have that like newbie nervousness that I have about everything.
Yeah. Did my phone die?
It did actually.
Oh.
I don't know when it died.
Like not that long ago.
Maybe mine died too. I'm not sure.
Check yours is still on. You know what? It's gonna stay on your what's it called? Camera. You know what? Outro. Go.
Okay.
We need to end the episode already.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. I hope that you learned why we ask all these questions. And now that when you go and read all the responses of your clients, you can have a lot more information in the back of your head that you're like, okay, you know what? Let's talk about it. And these are always good things to have. So thank you for tuning in. And next week, we're actually not going to be, because I'm going to be on vacation.
I'm also going to be on vacation. So, I decided to go to Chicago.
Oh, great.
Chicago.
That's so great.
Yeah.
So we are going to skip next week and hopefully catch you on the following week. So thank you so much and have a great rest of your week.
Yay! I just wanted to add that in.
I love that.
All right. See you guys later.